Five men are stranded on a desert island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Their only way home is to build a makeshift sailboat entirely from scratch. They are entirely paralyzed in the middle of the open ocean. Escaping an island by sea is a strict mathematical battle against planetary physics. And to understand why this escape failed, we have to look at the math. Building a raft requires highly buoyant materials, meaning materials that naturally float and can support heavy loads. For this crew, that meant harvesting thick bamboo stalks located deep inside the jungle. Gathering that bamboo meant navigating lethal local wildlife, carefully avoiding heavily camouflaged predators like the venomous fer-de-lance snake hidden in the brush. Once the bamboo was secured, they had to solve the weight problem. By sealing scavenged plastic barrels, they trapped enough air to guarantee the 1,000-pound weight capacity required to keep 5 men and their supplies above water. This diagram illustrates their launch window. They timed their departure to coincide exactly with the outgoing lunar tide. A lunar tide is the rise and fall of sea levels caused by the gravitational pull of the moon, which in this phase routinely pulls water straight away from the shoreline. This outgoing tide acts like a natural conveyor belt. It forcefully carries the massive raft away from the beach, allowing the crew to gain deep water clearance without requiring any manual rowing. To maximize early momentum, they deployed a makeshift sail to catch the coastal wind, pushing their speed up to a steady 1 mile per hour. Their early success worked because they aligned their crude engineering with the ocean's natural kinetic energy, riding the existing forces rather than fighting them. But the environment shifts aggressively the moment a boat leaves a protective island bay and enters the open ocean channel. This graphic illustrates what they hit next: a crosscurrent. A crosscurrent is a powerful lateral flow of water that intercepts and violently disrupts a vessel's forward path. Because the wind and the current were now pushing from the side, their makeshift sail became a liability. It caught the crossbreeze and began pushing the boat entirely off course, forcing the crew to drop the sail completely. Without wind power, the crew pivoted to pure human horsepower. They implemented rigid 15-minute rowing shifts to keep the raft moving in a straight line. Manual labor under the equatorial sun extracts a severe physical toll. After 6 hours, the crew began experiencing acute dehydration, severe muscle failure, and tunnel vision from caloric depletion. As their physical output steadily dropped, the ocean's lateral pull remained relentless and unyielding, spinning them in circles and dragging them sideways. In the open ocean, human endurance merely buys you time. It does not change the physical dominance of the current. After 11 hours of rowing, they reached the final half-mile. The target island was visually within reach, but the 5 men were completely physically depleted. Then, the environment initiated a catastrophic change. The lunar tide shifted from an outgoing flow to an incoming flow. This force vector chart compares their output against the ocean. The incoming tide reversed the water's direction, creating a massive head current against the boat. Simultaneously, a sudden cross breeze compounded the resistance, easily overpowering their exhausted rowing and forcing a net backward drift. Mathematically unable to produce enough force to overcome the opposing vectors, the crew had no choice but to fire a rescue flare and surrender. Planetary physics are indifferent to human suffering. Surviving an ocean crossing requires perfect synchronization with nature's clock, because no amount of human willpower can outrose tide.